Are you interested in starting a YouTube channel, but concerned about how you would juggle it with a full-time job? Yes, me, right here, this guy. I've recently sat down with my friends Nate and Justin over at the YouTube channel Out of the Basement. They've grown their channel to over 10,000 subscribers, but more impressively, they've been creating weekly content for over 7 years now. I am so far behind. We discuss how they initially crossed that 1,000 subscriber mark, how they balance creating content with having full-time jobs, and of course, how they make money. But without further ado, let's get into my conversation with them. Nate, Justin, thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, Nate and I used to actually host a podcast together back in the day. And if I remember correctly, you guys were still working on the channel in the early days when we were doing that, correct?
Oh, yeah. That was good times. I still have my shirt.
You got the
Should have
shirt?
wore it. Should have wore it.
Should have worn it. Yeah, I should have too. I still have a poster and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, so you guys are a part of Out of the Basement. You guys primarily focus on reviewing Star Wars action figures, if I'm correctly. You guys branch out a little bit beyond that too, right?
Yeah, we do. It's a specific line called the Black Series. That's kind of like our bread and butter. That's what the channel is mainly known for. We do like a weekly show called Figure It Out, where we talk about like news, rumors. Like there's a whole other world when you get into like collecting modern figures. There's even drama associated with it, which we don't get into, but we also live stream every Sunday, and we call it like a lazy Sunday live stream. That's more of like a relaxed sort of thing where we interact with the chat a lot, and then we just sprinkle in other videos as well, like reviews like you mentioned and other stuff like that.
Explain to me what your guys' roles are for the channel. Like what do each of you do and what do each of you contribute?
It's pretty much, honestly, a 50-50 split. We both produce content together. Like Justin said, we do our weekly show, which is always us together. I mostly handle the reviews on the channel, but we also split the editing duties 50-50 pretty much as well. Justin always edits our weekly show. I always take care of the editing on most of the reviews. So it typically ends up being about a 50-50 split. It's the easiest way to do it. It's the easiest, simplest way to do it. And now, Justin and I both edit on the same software. So like we can help each other with things like that. Before we were, on two separate things. So it's a lot more streamlined now in terms of the editing. It's very similar between like the content together, but yeah, we both share duties, upkeeping the social media and everything like that, because these days you gotta do Twitter and Instagram, and we have a Discord. It's a lot of work, but it's pretty evenly divided between the both of us.
So let's talk about the beginning a little bit. How did the channel begin? Like what sparked you guys to want to start making videos? Sorry to interrupt this video, but if you are getting any value from it, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. It really helps me with creating more content like this video here. Let's get back into it.
Well, Nate and I, we all used to work at the same movie theater, obviously. That's where Nate and I became friends. And I actually wasn't on it right away.
The channel initially started out as a podcast about movies, video games, TV, and music. It was very widespread, very eclectic, which is not a good thing in hindsight. You don't want to spread yourself thin like that. But it was a podcast with a couple of my closest friends at the time. I think the 9th episode in, we had Justin guest on the show. From then on, like Justin had expressed to me like a similar interest in like producing content together. So I was like, I kind of was like, I think this guy shares my vision, because, my friend group, they're awesome, still love them to this day. But it was kind of me editing the show completely, like doing all the research, gathering the topics, everything like that. So when Justin like came into the picture and kind of showed like a little interest, like, hey, I'm willing to do like some editing and like more of the behind the scenes work, I'm like, you know what? I think we could just get along just fine. But we did tons of movie content for years, and we also did the action figure stuff too. But what we came to find out as time goes on is YouTube actually punishes you in the algorithm for branching your content out on the channel. Like, they very much would prefer it if you just had a separate channel for like each thing that you're interested in. It's really weird and something I still don't really like to this day, but you know, you gotta play the game.
Yeah, especially for niche stuff. Like, we did a lot of like Blu-ray, like collectible boutique Blu-ray stuff, and then there's like this super specific action figure stuff. So I think with the algorithm, it was just like so random. It's like two completely different people watching the content. So it's like you had some people subscribing for like Blu-ray movie review sort of stuff, and then some people were subscribing for action figure related stuff, and then the view counts are all different. And it was actually the Black Series stuff that started like skyrocketing, and I say skyrocketing, but
doing better than the other content
from our perspective. Yeah, that's what we found more success in. So then we eventually sort of narrowed down our content, and over the years it was a slow process, but eventually I would say like 2020 was the year we like started strictly Black Series content. And then that, along with the unfortunate pandemic, that's truly what propelled our channel to what it is today, is the pandemic.
That actually leads me into my next question, talking about at what point did you guys kind of see that shift into focusing more on the Black Series, like what you talked about? Was there a specific video? Was there a specific moment that kind of made you guys want to shift gears and just primarily focus on that?
Yeah, I would definitely say it was towards the end of 2019. We were having really great success finding figures in the line early, so we were able to get like reviews out before like the really big channels had these figures in hand. So it drew a lot of traffic to our channel for these specific figures, and we were like wow, like these are like, you know, at the time it was like maybe 1,000 or like 2,000 views on a video, which, you know, still is great. Our baseline for a video is we hope that it at least gets 1,000 views. But back then it was like we were having videos that would have like 100 views. And then so for overnight, for it to go from like 100 to like 1,000 or 2,000, we were like, this is crazy. Like, this must be like what we need to focus on. And then, like Justin said, you know, unfortunately, the pandemic was awful. I mean, still is awful. You know, people spending more time inside. It was almost as soon as lockdown hit, we saw like a huge spike in our viewership, in our subscribers.
I think that's around the time I filmed, and it's our most popular video on the channel. It was just my entire collection. It's above me right now on shelves. That's why I'm looking at it. But I filmed a video of my entire collection, and it has, I think it's creeping up to 90,000 views. So I think we got a nice boost from that as well. Another thing is just the so Figure It Out, our weekly show, is every Friday, and I think we have never missed a Friday, like, in probably over 2 years. Probably maybe even 3 years.
It's been a couple years since we, at the very least, have not uploaded. We always try to upload at least one video a week, and that video is usually Figure It Out, which goes up every single Friday at 6 a.m. It's gone up the same time, the same day for literal years at this point.
And we do not miss an episode at all costs. I don't care what's happening. There's going to be an episode, whether it's just one of us, like if someone's on vacation or whatever. And I think Figure It Out is what the channel is mostly known for. And I think it's just that consistency has been one of the most important factors that led to us hitting where we are, which is 11,000 subscribers. And it's very important to maintain that schedule, because I feel like people get in the habit of, oh, it's Friday, a new episode. Or now we've been live streaming every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central for the past, that's been over a year now, year and a half. And that is growing as well. So I think it's just a matter of consistency that we do. I just, people get in that rhythm like, oh, it's Sunday, or oh, it's Friday. So I think that's what led to us growing like we did.
You know, it's funny that you guys say that, because in this new media, it's almost like you guys are a TV show. You know, it's great that you have that consistency, because it's something that people are always able to look forward to. If that isn't there, you know, people are going to start tuning out. And that's kind of one of the unfortunate parts, is that YouTube doesn't work like a TV show. Back in the day, it used to be like 25, 30 episodes for a season. And now, you know, like we got these new TV shows like the Jeffrey Dahmer series, or the new Game of Thrones show, that are only 10 episodes. And, you know, and then they take a massive break. So you guys haven't taken any sort of break whatsoever. Like, it's just been consistent uploads the entire time. And,
That's almost crazy to think.
That's great. Since we're on the subject right now, one of the points on this channel that I'm trying to drive is simplifying your content, so that way you are consistently putting out content like you two are talking about. You guys seem to have figured that out, because you've been doing it for years. You guys have been on YouTube since 2015. You have almost 900 uploads. I mean, that's nuts. You know, that's kind of unheard for people who are not making a living off YouTube. Walk me through, like, how do you guys go about making a video?
Mainly for our show on Figure It Out, you know, we have, thankfully, both have jobs where we are typically off by 5 o'clock. So that helps out tremendously with scheduling time to produce a video. So we try and make a video every single Tuesday is when we actually film the video. And then Justin has a couple days to put the video together, content, you know, editing wise.
Right. I edit same night. I don't like having to, like, we'll film it tonight and then I'll get it Wednesday or Thursday, because then it's like crunch time. I get off work at 5, I go to Nate's, we film, I come home, and then I just edit same night. Everything is all ready to go. Thumbnail editing takes maybe like 3.5 hours, maybe. Sometimes more if it's like a top 10 or some sort of crazier video. But I also take a little bit of notes. We usually have an outline of what we're going to talk about. And I was recently asked this question by someone, like, how do you keep like the conversation flowing? And I think that's just a result of, A, we're good friends, so you have that. And B, it's just like, kind of like you were saying, Alex, we've been doing it for years and years and years. So we have experience of at least being behind the camera and keeping a conversation going. So now it's like nothing when we make a video. It's pretty effortless. I mean, we put a lot of effort into it, but the way the conversation flows is effortless for the most part. And the editing helps, you know, editing out a lot of the like I'm saying and Nate is saying during this recording, and just any awkward pauses or when we misspeak. And I try to edit in a lot of photos, and over the years I've just sort of streamlined that and to get, you know, a little more fancy with the edit, because I think our editing on everything, our streams, well, that's more of the presentation of our streams, but the edit on our Figure It Out episodes and the reviews, we actually take pride in that, because there are other channels out there that kind of just upload the raw footage. And
just in this community, or are you talking about in general?
Well, in general and in the community. And, you know, some of them are rather successful. And it's like, you know, sometimes I'm like, like they're just pointing the camera at the wall and filming and uploading raw footage. Whereas, like, we have this set and, like, we take pride in our editing, but it's rewarding, like, for me as well, because I go back and watch it on Fridays just to look at ways to improve it. It's for my own satisfaction as well that we spend so much time on the editing.
So let me ask you then, so you guys are turning content around, like shooting it and putting it out the same week? You don't shoot things in advance or anything like that?
Yeah, typically with the nature of our content, since we do cover a lot of like news and rumors, we don't really have that luxury of like pre-planning a video like super far out and then being able to release it like later on. Obviously that's kind of by choice, but you know, we do like to cover the news and stuff in the community, and you know, you always have to strike when the iron's hot, especially when it comes to news subjects. So a lot of times for that specific show, you know, for our main show, Figure It Out, we have to film it, you know, same day. You know, sometimes even if we know there's an upcoming event, we'll even push the recording of the show to, you know, sometimes Wednesday or sometimes Thursday, and then Justin literally has to work all night to get the video up ready for Friday at 6 a.m. because we don't want to miss that at all. Very rarely. I think there's maybe one occasion where we actually uploaded one of the episodes on a Saturday instead, and that was like the one and only time that's ever happened.
Right, because Hasbro, the company that makes these specific figures, they will have like these little like live stream reveal events, and it's like whatever day of the week they choose to do that. I'm like, well, like we have to cover it, you know. So if it's on a Friday, we'll be filming Friday, uploading Saturday. But like you said, like that's only happened like one time. But I mean, not to sound like a top G, but like that's all part of the grind. Because we get questions sometimes like, hey, why don't my videos get views? Like why am I not getting views? And I'm like, well, you know, like consistency, editing, getting on a schedule. Like there's so many factors that go into consistently getting 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views a video. There's so many factors, and it's a lot of effort. And sometimes I feel like your typical person doesn't understand like just how much effort goes into the process. I mean, we do it to ourselves. You know, that's just all part of the grind of pumping out the content like we do.
You said you upload at 6 a.m. Is that for all of your videos that you put out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've really tried to play around with uploading at different times because YouTube does provide you with analytics to show you when your viewers are most active on the website. But we've really found out that doesn't really make a huge difference, and honestly, in some cases, kind of actually negatively impacted the release of a video. Like it received less views than it typically would because we didn't upload it at the time that we normally did.
That is something I still do not understand, because we have good buddies in the community who also make content similar to what we make, and they will upload a video and set it to publish when it's done uploading. So it'll go up at like 2:34 p.m. and it'll instantly climb like super high in views. I don't know how that works out for them, but it doesn't work out for us. But we've just found that the 6 a.m. time, maybe it's because we've done it for so long, so it's like our history of video publishing time. Like, I have no idea. And then we also have, you know, people who watch in the UK and, you know, all sorts of different time zones and stuff like that.
6 a.m. is kind of like a little bit of a sweet spot, because here in the States, our thought process behind it is, you know, you wake up, you're getting ready for work, on your way to work. You know, our show's typically around 10 to 20 minutes long. So you can watch it, absorb it right in the morning, you know, on your way to work. Because a lot of people don't necessarily watch the videos. They, you know, they'll listen to it. You know, we receive a lot of feedback that people are also just kind of listening to it as they're going about their day or doing other parts of their, you know, whatever they may be up to. So I think it's kind of nice like that. Because I'm someone that when I wake up, you know, I'll put on a little YouTube video while I'm getting ready, you know, taking a shower, getting ready for work, that kind of thing. But it also helps out a lot because we do have a pretty significant fan base in the UK. And it's like a little bit more later in the day for them. It also helps for people in other countries to see our videos.
Nate, that's interesting what you said about how people turn on your videos a lot of times and they're not even watching it. They're just kind of listening to it in the background. I wanted to ask, how much do statistics like your click-through rate and your average view duration play into how you guys create videos?
That's a great question. We have tried to instead of, so the Figure It Out show, it used to be purely news. We would wait. So we record on Tuesdays, so like if news came out on like Wednesday or Thursday, that would just mean we have to wait until the next Tuesday to cover that, and then the next Friday for that to come out. With the live streams, we cover all news that we missed from Tuesday when we film. So lately, I almost think Figure It Out has switched from news related to more so topic related. Like, I have noticed that's kind of been a different trend, because not to name any names, I mean, they're friends, but there are other content creators that are like instantly, like right when the news comes out, there's like a video the same day, and it's like we would never be able to do that. So we have found ways to like sort of still keep up with that. But taking a look at like some recent episodes, just to give you some examples, we do wish list related things, like characters we would like to see. Different topics, like if you are a new collector, so like a guide if you're like just now getting into collecting, like we've done videos like that. We have done topic related videos about like just applying certain technologies to the line, like that we see in other action figure lines, and we would like to see them like in the Black Series, as far as like the engineering that goes into the sculpts and everything. We talk about like sublines and like the ones that we like or don't like. Like I said, wish lists are a big one. Those always get a lot of comments because people want to comment like what they would like to see as well. So we have sort of changed to like more topic oriented for Figure It Out instead of news. And I think that has helped recently, because a bit of an odd thing, but once we hit 10K, our views actually like went down. I don't know how this makes any sense, but there genuinely is a trend that once we hit 10K, views went down, and it took us a couple months to get out of that like slog. Like now we're back to a little more respectable levels for us personally. So that was weird, and I think that has to do with sort of our switch on Figure It Out. Like, this is a great example. Like, we made, it's called Star Wars Black Series expensive but terrible figures, and then we made one Star Wars Black Series cheap but awesome figures. So it's like more topic oriented stuff as opposed to news, and then the live streams are more so news these days, and I think that's working out for us.
If you don't mind sharing, what kind of retention do you guys typically get on your videos?
So I'm looking right now, typically I would say like 9 to 10 minutes. But it also varies from whatever, like if we're doing an episode of Figure It Out, or because Figure It Out has a higher retention. If it's a review, I feel like people skip through it a little more. Or like some videos that I make are Black Series updates, where I literally just show off like the stuff I got from the previous episode to this episode. They tend to like skip through that a little more, but it's not bad. I would say like around like 8, 9, 10 minutes.
And that's on like a 15-minute video?
I'd say Figure It Out is usually like 15, 16, 17 minutes.
It seems like the shorter your video is, like no matter what, the retention is lower. Like if you generally look at our shorter content, the numbers reflect being a shorter video. So like the average view duration is less, the click-through is less, you know, that sort of stuff. 8 to 10 minutes is not bad for a 15 to 17-minute video, especially with these days with the rise of, you know, TikTok, and short-form videos I think are more popular than ever before, like ultra-short form, like minute-long content, you know?
Yeah, our videos might be an acquired taste, because there are other Black Series content creators that make super, super, super short, like 3-minute, like 3-4-minute videos that get tons of views. So I think, but it's nice because everyone has their flavor. Like everyone has their little shtick that they do. So I feel like Figure It Out, you know, a little bit of long, like we get comments on the longer videos that are like, yes, a longer episode. So I just feel like we're more known for the longer more analytical videos, I would say.
And to be honest, it's interesting that you say that you're an acquired taste, because I feel like we're eventually going to get to a point where we're just going to be in short form content overload. People are going to be craving that more long form stuff. So I'm glad that's working out for you guys. But that does lead me into my next question. Do you guys see a future where you're going to make not necessarily shorter videos, but just shorts in general? So like TikTok or YouTube shorts or anything like that. Do you guys see any benefit for that for your channel?
I mean, I definitely think there's always a benefit to, starting a new social media platform and gaining a whole new audience, because of course there's people that only watch YouTube shorts. There's people that only watch TikTok. There's people that only use, certain websites. So I think for us, in a perfect world, we would love to be able to provide all of this content. But I think where the major struggle comes in is, we are both full-time employees at our respective jobs. This is very much just a hobby for us, and we would love it if it could be more than a hobby for us. But with the super niche subject matter, we kind of understand that that's not really a possibility. So unfortunately, it ends up being something that we just really can't dedicate more time to, which sucks. But because we have friends that do TikTok and stuff, and they talk about, the great success they have over there, like tons of views, tons of likes. It's really easy to get discovered on TikTok. And it seems almost like everyone that has a TikTok account at least has one viral video that's like popped off to some degree. So it seems like it's got really good discoverability, but then again, like Justin was saying, a lot of our content is long form, so I don't really know what we could do to make like short form content.
Well, if you don't mind me making a suggestion. So I primarily right now edit for this channel called Bruzel, and they do reviews on bourbons, whiskeys, and stuff like that. And we're trying to get into more long form content, so just doing videos that are just 8 to 10 minutes. Most of our videos have either been shorts, primarily used for YouTube shorts or TikTok, but we also have just shorter videos in general, shorter long form videos, if that makes sense. You just have to take the highlights of whatever the best parts are of your reviews and, maybe just backlink to your longer videos, because maybe there's an audience who just wants give me the 60-second recap of what you guys have to say. And then there are other people like your current audience who want to see everything that you have to say. For instance, before I did this interview with you guys, I was editing one of our first longer reviews, and it goes very much in depth. The main guy, TJ, scores the bourbon based on like a 10 criteria review, essentially. And then for the short, I basically just say, if he likes it or not.
I've thought about, because I've recently switched over to editing on Filmora, and the latest version of Filmora actually has like an automatic like short generator, where while your video is exporting, it through some sort of algorithm like picks out the moments in your video that it thinks are like most important and creates like a minute long, just like it's called like a highlight. But I haven't really like gotten too deep into it, or like seeing like how good whatever the algorithm is, because if it's something that could be done automatically, I'd be all for it. But that's the other thing too, is, you have to sit and edit the full length video, and then you have to go back and decide what you want to keep for the short and edit that too.
I'm also afraid of YouTube shorts for a multitude of reasons. I wouldn't be opposed if we ever had the time to TikTok and do like the highlights, because I know like sleeping does that, sleeping collectibles. But YouTube shorts, I don't know if that would affect your view duration. I think they separate it now. But
I know at the beginning it was legitimately punishing people's channels to be uploading regular content and shorts.
We also know of YouTube channels in the toy community that have had viral shorts, so they have jumped up to like half 100,000 subscribers, but their videos, and I don't mean any offense to these people, but their videos get like 50 views, even though they have like 50,000 subscribers, because they got all of their subscribers from shorts that went viral and got millions and millions of views, but ultimately punished their channel because now they're getting, 50, 20 views on like regular content.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem we're going through right now that we're trying to figure out is what you just said is exactly what happened to us. So we're about to cross 60,000 subscribers right now on YouTube. We have in the last month done 8 million views on shorts, and we've probably done less than 10,000 on long form. So it's definitely a battle. I don't think necessarily it's being punished anymore because we're not getting like 50 views. It's more like, we just can't break past 1 or 2,000. But, I definitely can see that for sure.
Some of our reviews we have actually changed, and Nate might be able to talk more on this, but we do overviews instead of reviews when the figure is just like a repaint. So, for example, like a stormtrooper or a clone trooper, and then there's like a different faction or a different rank. It's like the same exact figure, but it's just repainted a different color. And as Star Wars fans, we're going to buy every single different color that they possibly release. So instead of doing like a 15-minute in-depth review, maybe it'll just be like 8-9 minutes, more of like an overview instead of an in-depth review. Those are shorter videos, and I think Figure It Out has genuinely gone down in length as well. It used to be like 25 to over 30 minutes a lot of times, but within the past couple of years, maybe even the past year, it's genuinely gone down to like we were saying earlier, like 13, 14, maybe up to like maybe sometimes over 20 minutes, but those have gone down in overall length as well.
I wanted to ask, how long did it take you guys to get monetized?
We were fortunate when we started our channel because that was back when you just needed 1,000 subscribers.
Ah, that's right.
Now I believe you need 1,000 subscribers and also
4,000 hours.
Yeah,
yep,
4,000 hours of watch time.
That is why I'm glad this interview is going to be long, and I hope a lot of people watch it because I got to get that those watch hours up.
Yeah, so we were fortunate because back then, it was still a grind to hit 1,000 subscribers. It was an absolute grind to hit that number, and it probably genuinely at least took us 2 or 3 years before we hit that milestone. But of course, we also weren't necessarily taking the channel super seriously either. It was just kind of like
we were like dicking around.
Yeah, it was
a few years.
It was just like throw a video out whenever. Like we had no consistency at all. So it was definitely a huge grind to get to 1,000 subs, but once we did back then, that was it. That's all you had to do to get monetized was just hit that milestone, and then you were good to rock and roll. And luckily, when they made those policy change rules, they grandfathered everyone in. So even people that didn't have the 4,000 watch hours were still able to keep their monetization. So there was a minute there where we almost thought we were going to be unmonetized, but thankfully that did not happen. And then since then, we've gotten into other aspects of monetization on the channel, like the channel memberships. I think that's really a huge driving factor. Because I'm sure, as you're well aware, Alex, that the AdSense revenue just isn't really anything. Especially
right.
when it's good.
It's a little substantial.
But I think both of us could agree that we saw a significant spike in the amount of money we were earning per month once we introduced the channel memberships.
And the live streaming, because there are, bless their hearts, but there are people that send us like $100 super chats, like $20 super chats, $50. A lot of people send $5, $10, $2, $1. Like, ever since we started live streaming, and it's literally just Nate and I, and a lot of times we will bring in like another creator to guest on the show, Lazy Sunday live stream. People just send us money. Like, I don't I'm eternally grateful, but it's
Yeah, of
just
course.
me and Nate talking about figures and like interacting with the chat and like answering questions and just generating discussion for like 2 to 3 hours every Sunday. We have seen a significant uptick in revenue related to the channel due to the super chats that people send and the channel membership. We have, as of this moment, 206 channel members, which ours is $1 a month. So when you have, hundreds of people signing up, it can grow and get significant, although YouTube does take 30%. Better than Twitch, though.
So that's interesting that you say all that, because I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about the benefits of live streaming in that aspect. I watch a lot of interviews with different content creators, just what are the best ways of just, making money on YouTube aside from AdSense. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about the super chat like that. So that's really interesting, because would you say that you guys are making more money from the super chat from your streams than you are from AdSense?
I would honestly probably say yes.
If not, it's very close.
I would say I'm a little shocked you haven't heard any creators say that, because a lot of the live streams I see from big creators, like huge creators, it's like a rainbow. Their chat is like a rainbow. They're getting like so many super chats, and yeah, they take 30%, but that adds up really, really quick.
It may sound shocking that, like you said, why would people send you guys money? But people like supporting their favorite creators, So, I mean, it's not completely out of the ordinary for something like that to happen. So I'm glad that, you guys are able to branch out a little bit and have support in that aspect.
Pretty much all the money we earn goes right back into the channel, whether it's buying new equipment or paying for, our monthly expenses like StreamYard, or we also have a PO box these days. So if people want to send us stuff like fan mail, so we've kind of expanded a little bit, and the YouTube revenue definitely helps out with paying for a lot of that stuff. And action figures aren't cheap either. And we pay for every single figure that we review on the channel. Every single one is bought and paid for either by me or Justin. Very rarely do we have, we do have sometimes generous fans that will donate stuff to us. But that adds up as well. So having people watch our videos, support our content, helps us provide more content, because we're able to, purchase these figures and get a review out so people can know what they're looking for in the figures before they make the purchase decision themselves.
Right. I was going to say, like, it's very rewarding. And I think the reason why I say, like, I'm so shocked that people send us money is because I feel like I'm still in the mindset, and this is true, that we're just like two dudes. Like, we're not like, when I think of like a YouTube influencer creator, like, I'm the last person I would think of. We're just two dudes passionate about our little hobby of collecting these toys. And it's just, I'll never take it for granted that people, like, I can't believe people send like $20, $30, $40 of these super chats, or even like signing up for the channel membership. I mean, $1 a month. Imagine having a monthly bill because you're just a fan of something that we make. And another thing about, like, when you're talking about buying figures, that was like one of my goals, is to not have any of my personal income dedicated to the hobby. Like, it's 100% paid for by the channel now. And that's like that's one of the most rewarding aspects of having the channel, along with just like the great conversations that we're able to have with everyone. Like I said, the Sunday live streams, we interact with the chat a lot, and we've met people, digitally from all over the world. And it's just so crazy because they're able to give us insights on what it's like collecting over there and like what they have access to. So, and then we also have a Discord server, so that's been a lot of fun. So it's very personal. There's a lot of personal interaction with our channel.
Can you walk me through a little bit how the channel membership works?
As a creator, you basically have complete freedom. So like right now we have one level, it's 99 cents a month, and what it includes is none of what I'm about to say matters. The main thing is just like to support the channel. That is the main thing. But what it includes is, I'm like looking at my second monitor, the loyalty badge, which we reached out to an artist who is so great and was willing to do all this stuff for free, which is crazy, but they made these like clone trooper helmets. When they first join, it's like the white, fresh, shiny, and then like after 1 month it changes a rank, and then after 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, and then 2 years is the last one. And that's just like a icon that will appear next to their name when they leave comments, like whether that be a regular video or a live stream. And then there is also custom emoji. I think we have 11 now. And they're just like, there's one of me as a clone trooper. Like they created our likenesses. There's one of Nate with like force lightning coming out. There's a bunch of different ones. There's also member shoutouts at the end of every episode of Figure It Out. We just have this text that's like, thank you to our new members. And then it lists off the new members. And then there's also a unique Discord role. Like if you have your YouTube account linked with your Discord, it would kind of carry over. Like you would have a different role in Discord if you were to join our server. And that is 99 cents a month. It's never going to increase in price. You can set whatever price you want. So like we could add levels and like offer more to get people to do that. We might do that someday, but we're always going to have that base level 99 cent a month. And there's a join button. Like if you're looking at a YouTube channel, it's right next to the subscribe button, join. And then there's like we put a link in all the descriptions because Apple does not get along with Google, and Apple doesn't put the join button on the YouTube app I guess they don't get along.
Are you guys not using Patreon then?
No, Patreon I think probably has a slightly better cut when it comes to the shared revenue, but for us, we thought it would be much easier, much more streamlined to just do it all on the YouTube channel. That's where our entire audience is. Like we do have decent followings on, Instagram and Twitter, but it's nowhere near compared to what we have on YouTube. So YouTube is our main social media platform where we're at. So when we decided we wanted to start trying out a membership, we picked YouTube's membership because it's right there. You don't have to convince anyone to click a link in the bio to go to a different website where they're going to have to create an account, sign in, verify the account, find our page. They're already on YouTube. They already have an account on YouTube. And most of the time, all they have to do is just put in their, debit or credit card information, and then they can instantly be supporting us right then and there. So I think it's just more of a streamlined experience for the subscriber to be able to just, hey, there it is right there. Super simple. Click that button, put in your card information, and that's it.
Plus there's like the fun stuff of like you said, it's all streamlined on YouTube. Whenever you try to convince someone to leave YouTube, it's just not going to work out as well as if it's just right there on YouTube. Plus, their username gets highlighted in the live stream and it has the little icon next to it. Like, it's just more fun than Patreon as well. So I think it entices. I bet if we could do the same scenario, but Patreon, I bet we would have more channel members than we would if we didn't have the channel membership and we decided to go Patreon. I feel like channel membership was the way to go.
So like with Patreon and stuff like that, you can upload like videos for specific tiers and all that. Like YouTube doesn't have those features yet.
They do. It's a little buggy because we thought about doing a tier that would, like, for example, if we did like a $5 tier and they got to watch Figure It Out like Wednesday morning as opposed to Friday morning like it usually does. But it's just not convenient at the moment because you have to manually switch it, and it's like I'm not awake at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 7.
I'm awake, but I'm busy getting ready for work. Like
right, that's the thing.
Right.
It's just not convenient yet because you can set it to go up, but then you can't set it to go up for the normal people on Friday morning. You have to manually switch it.
Right. You can schedule the upload for members only, but then when you actually want to publish it, you got to go in manually and set the video to public. So it's kind of annoying. I hope they fix that in the future.
If they fix that, I would definitely do like a $5 tier.
I think that might be coming because, I mean, if it's really interesting that you say that you guys wanted to use YouTube to streamline everything. I feel like that they're going to end up being a competitor to Patreon to keep people on the platform. So that's really interesting.
Hopefully that means maybe YouTube will give a better cut on the memberships, because I want to say like Patreon, I'm pretty sure Patreon is 90-10. I want to say it's like something crazy like that.
But I almost think it's worth the sacrifice.
Right.
The 20%.
Yeah, because again, it is very difficult to get someone to click a link and go to a different website.
And we're so small. We're such a small channel. On the grand scheme of YouTube, we are a small drop in the YouTube bucket.
I know you guys aren't full-time YouTubers, but would you consider the channel to be profitable based on what you're bringing in comparison to what you're taking out to do everything that you guys are doing?
Yeah, I would say overall, yes. The where it gets kind of tricky is like action figures come out in waves. So it'll be like 1 month will be a very expensive month. You know, you're buying $200 worth of figures to do the reviews. And then like the next couple months after that, you know, maybe you're getting like 1 or 2 or something like that. So I would say overall, you know, it is profitable, but you know, sometimes it comes and goes with like how much money we have to spend per month.
It sort of balances itself out. When I got a ticket from Chicago, and that kind of, it saved my ass last time we got our YouTube payment. Because I had to do my plates, and then I got that in the mail, and then I got my ticket in the mail, and then my phone bill was due. I was like, oh my God. But then I was like, our YouTube money's coming today. I was like, holy crap. Like, I got saved by it. It's definitely a good thing, and I hope we do continue. You said full time. I would say like we would need like probably like 100,000 subscribers before that's like doable.
So I want to talk a little bit about building community. That is really important nowadays for channels like yourselves, but just channels in general. I mean, maybe not for somebody like Mr. Beast, although he does have somewhat of a community, but I mean like a community where you guys are constantly interacting with your fans, talking to people either on the live streams or specifically Discord. What have you guys done in order to build the community that you have?
It's getting a little difficult these days, but for the most part, we respond to every single comment that someone puts on our videos. At the very least, we thank them for watching the video, to take the time to watch the video. You know, we will respond to the comment and give a genuine response to most comments as well. It's not just kind of like a, yeah, thanks for watching, buddy. So like we will actually engage and respond. I think it really started there. And then I think, you know, for the most part, people can just see that we are just two dudes. At the end of the day, we're just two guys that are really passionate about our hobby, and we want to share that passion with everyone. And I think it helps, you know, because people see that and they're like, oh, these guys are like me. They're like me. They just talk to a camera in my basement instead of, you know, typing out a YouTube comment or something like that. So I think our channel is very welcoming, you know, and our community that we have built over the years with like our moderators and everyone like that, it's very welcoming. Like everyone is welcome. You know, we don't bully or harass anyone if they like something that we don't necessarily like we don't do any of that. So I think having a welcoming and inviting, you know, environment, starting with the YouTube channel, continuing with responding to comments, you know, it just kind of snowballs from there at that point.
Because you recognize people's username, so you, oh, hey, whatever, X username, you start to recognize people. And it's the same thing in the Discord. I think that has really helped, like, people get the idea that we are both just like regular people, full-time jobs, regular collector, just like anyone else. We're not affiliated with any company. We've also had comments that they like our videos because they're not as polished. So it's like, I almost think we have sort of a homemade charm. Very amateur production in Nate's basement. Right behind him, there's the set. And we just put up the camera, record, do our editing. It's not as professional as some other channels. And I think when you have more of that homemade charm, you get more of that, like, oh, they're one of us sort of feel.
So how many members do you guys currently have in your Discord?
Discord, I think we're at 550, maybe more. I'm trying to get to 1,000, because in Discord is great because you can @ everyone. So I kind of take advantage of that. Whenever we go live, I will send a link and @ everyone, so everyone gets a notification no matter what that we're streaming. And I think that helps as well. I do it for every new video that comes out. And we also put it on our Instagram story. So there's like a lot of cross promotion with that.
That actually leads me into my next question. Is there a specific reason why you guys chose Discord as opposed to, say, Reddit or even just like a Facebook group?
It really came from the community. A lot of people in the community were wanting the Discord because Justin and I had never used Discord previously. I was familiar with it. Like, I knew it was some type of like forum style website, but I think it was really the community was like pushing like, hey, Discord is awesome. Like, we like to use it. You guys should have a Discord. So eventually it just got to the point where we were like, you know what, let's go ahead and give it a shot and we'll see what this website is all about. And it's worked out great for us. I mean, it's a very simple social media to use. I like that you can have different text channels for all sorts of different topics, because the Discord's just kind of open to pretty much anything. It doesn't even necessarily just stay like action figure related, and the community just engages with each other, and we pop in there, from time to time and join in with the discussion. So I think really it was just the community decided what was best for us, and it turns, it's worked really well for us.
Going back for a second, there was one question I forgot to ask. Have you guys ever had a sponsor or any sponsors reach out to you guys or worked with a sponsor?
We have had people reach out to us for sponsorship things, but it more often than not comes off as very illegitimate or sketchy at the very best. If it was a legitimate sponsorship, absolutely, we would consider doing the sponsorship depending on what it is. But most of the offers we've gotten seem to be very sketchy and, just not something that we would be interested in promoting, because the last thing we want to do is, scam our fans or anything like that. So we're very cautious about things like that.
We're in a few affiliate programs, although that's not technically sponsorship. I mean, we've had companies like send us stuff, and then we like I'm like, hey, company sent us something. Like there were these, it was this company called Figure Shield, and they sent us a massive package to our PO box of these. It was like hundreds of like action figure protectors of like if you keep them on card. And I'm like, show them off on stream, whatever. They didn't force us to do any. That's another thing. Like, I don't want to be held down by. I don't want to be like infected by some third party to where like you have to say this and that. We pride ourselves on speaking the truth no matter what, whether we enjoy something or if we don't like something. So I just don't want to ever get into the position where, I don't know, a third party or a company or whoever is like, you have to say this, and they give you a script to say or whatever. I'm just not a fan of that.
What have you guys been doing to drive people to the live streams? I've noticed, I know the views don't always equate to active viewers during the stream, but I was pretty impressed. I mean, you guys are getting a couple thousand views per stream. What do your guys' live numbers usually look like, and what are you guys doing to get people over to the lives?
Our live streams get like 3,000, maybe like high 2s to early 3s the past like month or so, and then a little over a month we had 5,000. We plug it in episodes of Figure It Out that we live stream every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And then it's like a ritual. It's like a Sunday morning ritual. I get up, I tag everyone in the Discord with a picture of the thumbnail, and I say, friendly reminder that we are going live today at 1 p.m. Central Time. I do that every Sunday, no matter what. And then we also put it in the Instagram story. Nate is like our Twitter guy. I don't really go on the Out of the Basement Twitter all that much, but he makes a tweet, and then I tag everyone again once we actually are live. And you are right, a lot of people watch the VOD. Tons of people watch the... to the point where I feel like Figure It Out and the streams get the same amount of views, which is like incredible to me. I can't believe that.
Right. And what's even more incredible, to answer your question, Alex, is recently we've been hitting around about 200 concurrent live viewers, which is just mind-blowing to us because it's Sunday afternoon. Most people's day off, especially with football going on right now. We're climbing. You know, there was people that were reaching out to us saying, hey, you guys should stream at a different time because football season, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, nope, it's going to be the same time. And we've actually been growing during football season.
And people will comment like, hey, I have the game on, but I'm going to be listening in, or like whatever. Like,
yeah, people will listen to the stream and they'll watch their sports ball. So they kind of get the best of both worlds in that regard. But it's absolutely insane to us that so many people choose to tune in every week. And I think the success is a combination of having guests on that have a larger following than us, and then those people watch that stream because of the guest we have, and then they find out that, oh, I like these two guys, so I'm going to stick around for next week even though so-and-so is not going to be there next week. So I think that also really helps, just the constant rotation of different guests and people in the community. That to some degree does funnel more people to our channel. And we're frankly one of the few action figure channels that has a consistent weekly live stream that's at the same time, same day, every single week. So people can rely on that, and they know that, oh, it's Sunday afternoon, I can watch a little live stream about some action figures. And they always know that that's going to be there for them. And then even if they can't make the stream, they know the VOD is literally uploaded immediately after the stream is ended.
The Lazy Sunday live streams are probably like the number one thing I'm excited about with the channel, because we just started it over a year ago, and we were playing like Star Wars games. That wasn't doing so well, and then we switched to a regular
literally
discussion,
just talking.
All of a sudden, it just popped off. The streams are like the most exciting thing about the channel right now for me, because it's so new. And again, we're getting in that rhythm where people know Sunday 1 p.m. Central Time. It's to the point where I would say Figure It Out and the live streams, that is now like our bread and butter with the channel. It's probably what we're most known for.
And the best part about the live streams too is there's no editing involved. So
it's just so easy.
We just get to stream and stop the stream, and then people just watch the VOD and they don't care about editing because they know it's a live stream. So,
but we have made significant improvements over the course of time. Like one day Nate and I filmed an intro to the stream that will play. So it's like a countdown to get people in. And then there's like a sitcom, like 80s intro that plays. And then it's us. So I like that. I've been experimenting with background music. Now that we have the paid version of StreamYard, there's like overlays. There's different banners, logos, background music. I love the fact that we have a background.
We'll play clips for people when they become a channel member or they donate. We have like little Star Wars related clips of like characters talking about certain things, and we use that to like apply it to whatever the person is doing. So it also, helps build a sense of community, because people like, being put on display, and, we get it. So do we.
I think that's what it is, because on StreamYard, you can click on their comment and it brings it up like in the lower left hand. So like when you're responding to a comment, you click on that one and it shows their username and their profile picture. So I think people like that they're on the YouTube video as well. The streams have been very successful from our parameters lately, and yeah, they've just been really great because, again, it's I don't want to say it's low effort, but it doesn't take a lot of. We're literally just chilling.
Yeah,
we're just chilling.
It's lower effort
compared to editing Figure It Out for 3.5 hours straight.
Right.
Absolutely.
So let me ask, as far as like you guys having guests on, how do you go about finding guests, and what benefit is there? Like, do you guys have to do anything for them? Like, what benefit is there for them to come onto your stream? How do you guys convince people to come on your streams?
I just go out and ask.
The good thing about the action figure community is, even though there are people that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers or tens of thousands of subscribers, everyone is pretty much cool with each other. And like this, it's not like other communities where it's like, I will not even dare talk to you. You only have 10,000 subscribers. I've got 1 million, A lot of bigger creators are actually more relaxed and are also just kind of like normal people like us. So we're just like, hey, we're out of the basement, blah, blah, blah. We stream at this time. We talk about this, would you be interested in coming on with us? And that's usually how we get most guests. We like to reach out to people. We don't necessarily like when people try to reach out to us and, want to come on the stream. I mean, we appreciate that, but we pick our guests.
Because we also have a lot of guests that are smaller channels as well. We love helping smaller channels grow, especially when it's like something... when it's a channel that their first video is like kind of, better shot, better quality than ours, I'm like, let's bring them on the stream. And then, I'm talking about Landspeeder Luke. I just have a thing because I know what it was like to start out. And like you were saying earlier, like it took so long. That first 1,000, I genuinely think the first 1,000 is the hardest thing to accomplish on YouTube. Because it takes so much effort. And once you do get there, I just feel like it's like a mental thing in people's mind. They see the 1 comma, they see a comma, so they're like, I'm subbing. I just feel like you get easier subscribers after that initial 1,000.
It definitely seems like the more subscribers we get, the quicker it goes to like the next milestone. So it does almost seem like people see the number, they go, oh, other people like this, so I guess it's okay for me to subscribe too.
Yeah, so when I see smaller channels that I really like, I'm like, hey, wanna come on? And then when they're on, we tell our audience, like, this is what they do, kind of give them a spotlight, and then we'll have like a link in the description to their channel. So there's a lot of good cross-contamination, even with channels that come on that are larger. They may not have known, the audience may not have known who they were. So we kind of share audience, share subscribers a little bit. So I don't think anyone has ever declined.
And I mean, I think our streams are also getting to the point where they are starting to become a little bit more well-known just in the community in general. So I think, when we do ask those people, they're like, oh, I'm finally being asked to come on the Out of the Basement Sunday live stream.
Which is so weird.
Right.
So weird.
It's like the most bizarre feeling in the world. I'm just like, dude, I just like mess around with these toys in my basement. Like it's so bizarre.
That's awesome though. That's really cool. So as we wrap up here, I wanted to ask you guys, what's next? What's in the future for you guys?
I mean, right now I feel like we're in a really good groove. We're still kind of riding that high of hitting 10,000 subscribers. That was kind of like our next big move, because when we hit 10,000 subscribers, that was when we started to kind of branch out a little bit. We did like a small collection of merch and, just like some other things to kind of, take our channel to the next level. So I would say, like, as of right now, I think we're just kind of focusing on perfecting the live streams, kind of streamlining the content, maybe trying to get some things down a little bit shorter, because it seems like right now YouTube really, really enjoys short form content. Not necessarily just shorts, but like sub 8-minute videos. It seems like those are really getting favorited in the algorithm. You know, I don't really necessarily know if I would call like the things on our channel like fat, but almost it's like we kind of want to try and trim the fat just to, you know, kind of increase viewership, because it does seem like, you know, when we post a shorter video, it's like the views are quicker to climb up. Eventually they do plateau, but, you know, it's like the rise is a lot faster to those views rather than like some of our more long form content, which may take like a day or so to hit the appropriate views that we want it to hit. So as of right now, yeah, we're kind of staying the course and doing our own thing. And like we talked about earlier, I think if anything, we might get into, you know, super short form content, just because it seems like, you know, places like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, great place to grow, great place for people to see your content and at least start to get familiar with it.
I would pretty much agree with that. Yeah, I want to perfect the streams. There's always something where I'm like, we could tweak that, even if it's so insignificant. I feel like going the extra mile and doing those little insignificant parts, like I can't tell you how many times I've been editing a video, there's some sort of mistake, and like the old Out of the Basement, I'd be like, no one cares, like no one cares. But nowadays I remind myself, we always make the joke the next year, whatever year it is, we're like Out of the Basement 2022, which is like whenever we're gonna skimp out on something, we go Out of the Basement 2022, and then it'll be Out of the Basement 2023. So it's like, even if it's small little things, I think it'll ultimately make a difference.
So where I want to end is, if there's anything I missed, which considering how long this interview's been, I'm guessing probably not much, or if you guys have any questions for me about anything.
We went pretty in depth about everything. I do want to say, you know, thank you for the great questions. Those are some questions we've never really been asked, so it was kind of interesting to sit here and think a little bit on the fly about the responses to this kind of stuff, because most of the time when people are asking us questions, it's about the figures or something like that, you know, so not a lot of people really pick our brain about like the actual process of making content. So I do appreciate that, and I did have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I concur. Because every once in a while, I'm a little more active in the Discord, so when people have questions, they'll usually come to me because I'm in there every day. And I love when people ask me, like, hey, I'm starting up a YouTube channel, like, yada, yada, and then they have questions. And then I just write an absolute novel, probably divulging, like, way too much information. But I do love when people ask about the process of maintaining a channel. And if I were to give advice to anyone, it's always consistency and just putting in a real effort. It's consistency, schedule, and like edit it to some degree. I mean, you don't have to go super hard, but I mean, I know everyone starts somewhere, but a lot of people, I feel like they're confused, like why is my channel not growing? Why are my views so inconsistent? Why am I not getting any views at all? But it's like they only upload a video. They'll upload one video 1 month, then 5 videos the next month, and 1 video the next month. You have to be consistent, and it's really helpful to get on a schedule. Those are like my two big things.
And just to add on to that, also focus your content. In a perfect world, I would love to still be able to do our movie content and do the action figure content, but the unfortunate reality is YouTube doesn't like that. And to grow on YouTube, you have to play the algorithm game. There's no way around it. You have to play the algorithm game. Yeah, you might like talking about a number of different topics, but in the long run, it's actually going to hurt your channel. So find that one subject you're really passionate about and stick to that. And then you'll probably, you'll start to see the numbers climb as more people start to know you for that thing. Now, eventually, you could argue that this could lead to some type of, pigeonholing, but, it's just the way YouTube works, unfortunately. There's no way around it if you want to grow on YouTube.
Well, guys, I appreciate your time. This was amazing. I don't think I told you this, but this is actually my first interview ever. So I feel like, we
whoa.
did pretty good. I'm glad you guys liked the questions. It was very engaging. I'm sure a lot of people are going to find this really helpful. And I just hope you guys just have continued success and you keep growing. And I love watching you guys do what you do.
I do want to say shout out to your little news article that I saw on the Facebook the other day. I was like, that's legit. Like,
yeah, it was kind of random because I don't have anything to promote right now. So I was surprised that they reached out. It's usually I'm trying to reach out to news outlets to promote something. But I mean, aside from the starting up the YouTube channel again, I don't really have anything going on.
It's never too late to just promote cashing out one more time.
You know what? It's doing very well right now on Tubi.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't, and the thing that kind of sucks is I can't calculate or I can't think of the right word right now, but I have no idea of figuring out like how it's doing. But like it's making quite a bit of money right now on Tubi, which kind of blows my mind.
That's awesome though. For something that you literally worked so hard on for so long, for it to still provide you with some sort of revenue.
Yeah, 2 years later at most.
That's just fantastic.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for something, better than that.
Shreddy, you are more inspiring than you might give yourself credit for, because like we are friends, but we don't talk all the time. Every once in a while we'll sort of catch up. But throughout my life, I do find myself thinking back to the things that we have done. Like when I first got hired at the bank that I work at, the little interesting fact I did was I shot drone footage for an award-winning short film.
Yeah.
So you've definitely made an impact, and it's very interesting because I know you've done a lot of short films and everything, and you're definitely an inspiring guy. So I'm glad you invited us on to your first episode of this.
Yeah.
That means a lot, man. Like it's tough because like you were talking about, it's really hard to break past those first 1,000 subscribers. And, that's primarily why I started just editing for other people because I found success with it. And, I've edited for a lot of big channels. And like I said, the main channel that I'm working right now had 8 million views in the last month, which is just mind-boggling. But, deep down in my heart, it's just like I want to be like in your guys' position. I want to be making my own videos and just people enjoying them. And it's just like trying to figure out how to get over that hump is... It's very hard, and it's hard to stay motivated because of that. And then I hear things like what you just said, which is just like, okay, I guess I gotta start making content again. And
well, it's true. I always think back of even if it's like those little commercials we made, as I don't want to say insignificant because they were awesome. Like the Michael Myers, the Halloween one that we did. And, we went on to, our first little short film was a Michael Myers Halloween short film. And it is, every once in a while, I do get that itch where I'm like, I want to do something I want to do another one of those short films that we did for Halloween. So I do get, those itches as well. Especially now we're in spooky season, I'm like, damn.
Right.
Yeah, it's something I definitely want to keep pursuing in just making films too. I think about it all the time. I recently watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2 weeks ago. I watched 5 movies that weekend. I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once at home. I watched the X sequel, Pearl. I watched Pearl. I saw Clerks 3, and then I watched the other 2 Clerks movies to get caught up. And I was just like, I really miss making movies, and it's crazy. Just like what you were talking about, it's crazy to just look back and just think we just made those little PSA trailer things. And it's like, now you guys have your channel, which is nuts. I don't know if you guys ever thought you'd be where you're at right now. It's definitely nothing to blink at. What you guys have been able to accomplish, just 900 videos consistently over 7 years is nuts. Like, I don't know a lot of people who do that. I don't even do that. Like, I make a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, but I was lucky to make maybe one short film a year, and you guys are pumping out content every single week. So, that's not something to turn a blind eye at. So, I mean, I respect the hell out of you guys for pushing, and, I really appreciate you saying those things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Right.
Like 900 videos.
Yeah.
It's not even something that I like have ever looked at, really. So when you dropped 900 videos, I was like, have we really made 900 videos?
Because it's just at this point, it's just part of the routine. So I don't even I almost don't even think we're making content when I'm doing it. It's just like my Tuesday night routine. Like, it's the episode to Figure It Out. It's Tuesday night. I gotta do this. But we have been doing it for years now.
You guys had, at least when I was doing research on you guys, so this was about a couple days, I think, either before or after I asked you to do this, but you had 885 uploads and over 2.2 million views, which is, nice. I mean, that's nuts. I mean, it's crazy. It's so hard to get people to watch your videos in general. But the fact that you guys are able to, that you've been doing it for so long, and 2.2 million views is amazing. Like, I would love to have that. I can barely get 100 people to watch my videos, and you guys have had 2.2 million people do it. So that's definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah, I'm especially proud of the 2.2 million because none of it was just like a random viral video.
Right.
It's like it's 2 point whatever million of a few thousand views on every video, because that's like how loyal and dedicated the audience is. People are nuts for their action figure chit chat. I'll tell you that much.
Yep, that's true. Very true.
Well, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I really appreciate you talking to me. This is awesome, and like I said, I feel like it's going to end up helping a lot of people just for inspiration and all that.
Well, it's possible. I mean, Nate uses his phone. He uses an iPhone. Anyone with a smartphone, just hit record.
That's my big secret. It's called an iPhone. You don't.
I shoot with a DSLR.
But that's the great thing about modern cell phone
cameras
is gone are the days of, oh man, I gotta buy a microphone, I gotta buy a DSLR to shoot 1080p video. It's like those days, throw them in the trash. All you need is your phone and Filmic Pro, and you're golden.
There you go. All right, guys, take care. Thank you so much again.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.